Serving dinner to my 5-year-old taught me one of the greatest lessons that I'm going to break down in this video about how to translate what you do into what corporations are looking to buy today. So let's do a little flashback. I have a picky 5-year-old. I don't know if anybody else has the same problem with their children. It's like you can only get them to eat a set of core things. One of my son's favorite things is rice. When he got introduced to it, plain white rice is his thing with what he calls his favorite seasoning, which is just some seasoned salt. One night I decided to give him some Spanish rice. A little different, but still on the same track. I thought it was going to work well, even though I had some doubts. So I'm standing over the stove, I'm stirring the rice, I'm getting his plate, I'm putting everything else on the plate with it, and my mind is flooded with thoughts. We got to get him to eat different things. I don't understand why he doesn't eat. It takes him so long to eat. Did we do something wrong by only feeding him certain things that he's so picky? He's not going to like this, all the things. As those thoughts were rushing, I was still stirring, I was still plating and making sure that he had a balanced dinner. As I started walking over, I got this towel on my head. As I started walking over from the kitchen to the dining room with the plate in hand, I'm walking over just thinking, this will be good. He'll like it. He'll enjoy it. We'll see what happens. I sit the plate in front of him. A look of disgust and intrigue comes across his face at the same time. I'm standing there as he's reviewing it. I'm locked in and I'm leaning in, possibly holding my breath to see if he is going to enjoy this. He goes right around to the one thing he doesn't recognize, zones in and says, "What is this?" with the most confused look. And I got a little defensive. And I thought to myself, okay, what am I going to say? I immediately started rattling off. It's just rice. You know, you've had it before. It's the same thing. It's got your favorite seasoning on it, all the things. You're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. And he's looking at the rice. He's looking at me and he still doesn't believe me. I'm not selling him on this idea. So he says, okay. And as the TV's playing in the background, because this is his screen time, he goes ahead and starts eating the other items that he's more accustomed to while watching his program. So I decided to go back over to the kitchen, finish what I'm doing, preparing my dinner. And he gets to the end of his plate. And I can tell when he starts slowing down as he's eating, he's debating because he knows he has to have a clean plate before he gets up from the table. So I'm not looking at him. I'm just kind of noticing what's going on. And then I finally see him start to stare at the Spanish rice and he picks up his fork. So I'm looking from afar and I'm like, is he going to do it? Is he going to eat it? I'm like, is he going to try it? What's going to happen? He puts the fork up to his mouth and the same look of disgust and confusion comes over. And I start crumbling inside a little bit thinking, we're going to go back to the same thing again. He's not going to like it. This is going to be bad. He takes the bites and I'm holding my breath again. Finally, I start to see his eyes lift, his smile shift, and he says, "I like it." And at that moment, I had a true mom win. My heart sang, my eyes lit up just like his, and I had the smile to match. And even in that moment, it seemed so small. I just had a quiet yes in my spirit, like one win for us. After all the moments that we've had with food, it just gave me peace to have that one moment where we had finally won. Now, has anybody else experienced this? This is what I learned about business through this lesson. And towel fell off my head, so we just gonna keep on going. What I learned in that moment is sometimes it's not about selling people on all the new features, right? Oh, it's amazing rice. It's going to do this. It's going to be so much better. You're going to love it and all of these things. Sometimes the barrier is that people don't want to experience the new because they fear that they're losing the old and what was already predictable. So for him, the white rice and the seasoning was it. Seeing something new on his plate didn't necessarily mean he wouldn't like it. It just disrupted the sameness that he saw in his mind. So while I'm trying to force him to embrace the new, his guards and barriers are up and saying, this is not what I'm used to. So what I had to do was speak to him in a way that showed him, hey, what you like is still here. and focus on those things. It's still the same rice. It still has your favorite seasoning on it. And the second thing that I did is I said, just try it. If you don't like it, it's okay, but just try a little bit of it. This is an old parenting trick, right? So I made the stakes low. Hey, if you don't like it, no big deal. But here are all the things that are remaining the same. Try a little bit, and then we'll see where we go from there. The third thing was incentivize. When he finishes his plate, he understands this is when you can get a dessert or where you could stay up and play for a little bit longer. One of those incentives are usually offered. So I'm like, hey, if you finish this, I'll give you this dessert. Not necessarily something you want to use all the time, but the incentivized piece really works. With those three things, that helped him be able to, the first thing was just simply trying it. And once he tried it, he devoured the entire thing, and now he likes Spanish rice, right? So same thing for business. When you might be looking to reach a client that might be used to a certain thing, right? Or they may see things in a particular way. Maybe they have, with the whole government space, DEI is like a word that you cannot use. So they have this blinder on right now of how they see things and how it should go and how it's going to work. Our job as salespeople is not to necessarily come in and show them all the bells and whistles. Sometimes it's grounding in what remains the same so they can reduce the barriers and then see all the benefits that are on the other side. When you are speaking with organizations, especially newly coming in and talking about the things that you can do and, all of the areas where you can support them, the best thing that you can do to build trust and make people feel comfortable with trying something new is, number one, ground the sameness. Tell them what's going to remain the same. So many people are stuck to looking at what is different and how do I differentiate myself in the marketplace. Some people don't want different. At first, some people want to know that what they're going to get is going to be the same so that they can entertain you. And then when they come to find out there's so much more that they didn't know and so much more they could explore, they want more. But you've got to be willing to break down that barrier. And then the second thing, making the stakes low. Instead of coming in and trying to overhaul and change up an entire program, or you'll see people saying, well, corporations just don't get it. They don't think it's them. They don't think it's this. They don't think it's that. Right. But you're never going to win a deal if you come in and say that. You've got to get people on the same, you got to see the same things the way that they see them. You've got to step into their eyes. You've got to step into their shoes and see, perhaps there's a reason that they don't want to necessarily overhaul and see everything the way that you see it today. How can you go back a few steps? You know what the problem is. You know what the solutions are. You know how to help them, but you've got to get their ear first. And that's going to be lowering those barriers, making the stakes small. Maybe it's a trial run that you do. Maybe you come in and partner with the team that's already there to support whatever initiatives they have going on. Maybe there is some company-wide change. Maybe there's some procedures and protocols that may not necessarily be right, but you've got to get in first to understand why they're even doing the things that they do. So that way you can stair step them into the solution. The final thing is incentivizing. So once you do adopt certain things, or as you're presenting your proposal to an organization, think about what ways you can incentivize them for their time. What ways can you benefit them so that if they are willing to take the taste test, finish the meal, well, now what do they get? What benefits do they have? This is why asking questions like, what are you responsible for? What will make you the hero of your team? What are some of the things that you're prioritizing right now? Your incentive can be tied in that. For my son, I know we don't give him too many sweets. And so I know he likes to be able to have a sweet or dessert or something like that, right? That's the incentive. I'm going to give him that dessert for finishing his meal. So for watching my presentation, for, adapting these ideas of whatever the case may be, I'm going to help you do X. You really care about budget? Okay. So if you decide to move forward and you decide to do it in this way, I'm going to cut some of that price point out for you. That's what matters to you, right? You've got to get into the head of what matters to the person on the other side. Oh, maybe they like status symbols. Okay, well, if you do this, the thought that just came to mind is even about sponsorships, right? Why do companies want to sponsor things? Some may want to get that brand recognition. So if you do this at this level, I'll highlight your company here. I'll make this introduction for you. You've got to, once you can understand and diagnose or detect what matters for people on the other side, you can create better incentives. It doesn't make sense to offer someone something that doesn't matter to them. If I told my son that, okay, if you finish your dinner, then I'm going to clean your room for you. Okay. Maybe he's 5, so it's not like, that's something like overly exciting for him. He doesn't have much to really clean up, and he's like, okay, cool, that's fine, but that's not what I really want. You know what I'm saying? It's lackluster. Sounds good, not what he really wants. The incentive must be something that they actually desire for it to really work for you. So let's recap as I try to pull this here together and get it together, because it didn't completely malfunction. Anyway, the story about the rice tells us a very good, clear lesson about how to get on the same page with the person on the other side of the room, and how you can keep yourself grounded in remaining the same rather than leading with differences. Think about it. Think about some people who don't. The people who say, everything is fine. I think about my sales career. Oh, we're good with our price. We're good with this. We're good with that. Okay, cool. No need to disrupt what you already have going on. Well, can I show you how you can get the same technology at the same price points, and maybe even some other things that you hadn't thought before? But I'm leading with, okay, I can give you all of that. So can I show you how I can give you those things and more at the same price point? You might can do that, right? So think about those things in your next conversation or your next negotiation of how you can combine the two. Get rooted in the sameness. Most people do not want to make a change. That's already a big thing. And then incentivize it, make the stakes low, and see how that works for your next negotiation, your next pitch, even how you think about proposing your services to other organizations and companies. If you don't want this time to end, check out this next video and be sure to subscribe for other conversations that we're going to have just like this. Talk to you soon.